Bloodthirsty Betty. What are the pros and cons? Do I think she's worth that price tag? And what would I rate her on a 1 to 10 scale? I will be telling you guys all of that in today's review video of Bloodthirsty Betty. So as you guys know, Bloodthirsty Betty is absolutely one of my favorite props of this year. As soon as I saw her, she was our very first sneak peek. I told you guys that I thought it was an amazing release, and Spirit did not disappoint with this one at all. She seems to me like she's the menacing Molly 2.0 of this season. I just get that feeling from her. I believe she's made by the same company. She has that alliteration going on with the name, and she gives the exact same vibe. But this, I honestly have to say, might just be better than the legendary menacing Molly. I'll go ahead and walk through the pros. First of all, she has an incredible design. She looks amazing. The detail in these fangs and the teeth is nothing like we've ever seen before. She has little bits of blood dripping out, and it looks real glossy and bloody just all over her mouth, like there's no spots that aren't covered by blood. She has these red eyes and detail within the eyes, but they also light up red, which I absolutely personally love. And then overall, the face just kind of has this really pale, light color to it that basically just makes her look possessed and ghost-like. But also, she just has this really wide, gaping mouth that you can see the design they put in there to make it look like she has those jaws fully extended. She also has her little black pigtails here, which I think is fitting. Realistic feet, realistic hands, and when you put her up on the wall, it really does look like she's clinging to the wall, even more so than the wall hanger whose feet just kind of flopped around in whatever direction. This one really looks like her feet are holding her up, and she even looks like that when she's on the ground as well. She looks like she's sitting there in this squatted position, and she looks like she's about ready to lunge out at you. So I think the design overall is awesome. The clothing piece is absolutely perfect as well. I'm glad that they did this flowery design on it, this rose design. It's kind of old style, and it all is just super fitting for her. So the design, nothing bad to say about it. I think that she looks like an incredible possessed little girl demonic prop. So I love what they did with that. Now the animation, this animation is really, really awesome on her. She has this head popping animation, but she is super versatile. You can use her in 3 different positions. She could be on the ground with the head starting in this position, popping up to 90 degrees, or you can actually twist her head backwards to 90 degrees so that then you can mount her onto the wall and her head will go all the way back to about 180 degrees. And that could be either facing the ground and popping up or doing the back bend. As you guys have seen in my demo video, I did all 3 things. My personal favorite is having her do the back bend because in that case, she really pops incredibly fast. It's one of the fastest jump scares that we've seen, and it really is not sped up. It's incredible. It just pops like out of absolutely nowhere. It's like a peekaboo penny type of thing. And so yeah, the animation is really, really awesome. Will it be durable? Will it last for years? I guess only time will tell on that, but I haven't had any issues with mine so far. I mean, I haven't really used her that much, but the jump scare is definitely really, really good, and I think it's going to freak some people out in my haunted house this year. So animation is absolutely awesome. The audio also is super duper fitting. Oh, and don't forget, she has this shaking motion right before she pops up that really leads into the pop-up perfectly, because you just kind of see that something's going on, and it definitely kind of hints at what's going to happen next, although you don't know what's going to, but it definitely looks super duper cool, and in person you can actually see it pretty well, that vibrating motion, and it just looks like she's going crazy just in this possessed state, and then when her head pops, it just is absolutely terrifying. And then also she has, of course, the light up eyes, and then she has this really, really awesome audio to go along with it. At the beginning she's like and she makes those noises, those really weird possessed creepy noises that just sound super off, but they're super horrifying when you hear them in the distance, that she's making before she pops up. And then she has this blood curdling scream that we've never heard before, and I think it is really, really awesome. It fits her very, very well, and it is super duper loud compared to the stuff beforehand, so it just comes out of nowhere and scares the crap out of you. And when her head pops, it does make a really, really loud noise, especially when you have her back bending, and even though you might say that takes away from the realisticness of it, it kind of adds to the jump scare, honestly, because it just is noise that comes out of nowhere and scares you. So the audio is awesome. It's super fitting. It's some of my favorite audio that we've seen in a long time. The animation is really, really cool. It's right up my alley type of stuff with the back bending, but it's probably the best back bending prop that we have seen. Really, I mean, compared to Broken Spine Girl and Menacing Molly, well, it's hard to say. I really like Broken Spine Girl, but as far as jump scare, this is the best jump scare of all of those. So animation is super freaking awesome. A lot going on there. Vibrating, head popping, eyes lighting up, great audio. video, and also a great design and awesome look to complete it all. There's really not many cons that I have with this girl, but I guess if I did have to say a con, it's that this thing isn't really designed and the instructions don't explain how to put it into the back bending position. It's really meant and built for just hanging on the wall with, you know, facing downward, because it has that hook there. It has a little, you know, hole that you can hang onto a nail, and then also the control box hangs on hooks that only face one direction, and they'll only hold it up if it's doing the facing the ground up pop. But I find that to be the worst position. I think that the ground position is better than that, and then obviously my favorite position is the back bend. But in order to do the back bend, you kind of have to get duct tape and tape up the control box so that it doesn't fall all over the place. You have to screw her into the wall, and I guess that's not a big deal. It makes sense that you would have to screw her, because if you just had it hanging on a nail, in this case the back bend animation is actually kind of pulling it off of the wall, whereas the up pop is kind of pushing it up against the wall. So that's why you wouldn't want to just hang it on a nail with the back bend, because it might pull itself off. However, it doesn't really, I don't believe it specifies in the instructions to screw it to a wall if you're doing that back bend, and it's also not very specific about how to pull the head back. It just kind of says slowly pull it back, and you feel like you're going to break it. So some kind of confusing things there with the instructions. They're not super clear, and it definitely is not designed to be in the back bend position, so you have to kind of do a little bit of extra stuff there that is not included and not in the instructions. So that is just a minor downside, but overall it definitely doesn't take off any points for me. But I do have to say, before I get into my 1 to 10 ranking, it is $160, $159.99. I personally think that that is absolutely worth it. This thing is 2 feet tall, but I actually thought it was a little tiny bit bigger than I expected in person, and she is definitely super life-size. I mean, it's a little girl. It's not meant to be anything massive, but it definitely is super life-size and looks big enough for me, at least, in my haunted house. It definitely was just about the size that I expected, and I would not say that she is too small or anything like that. I would say she's about perfect. So the sizing is great too, and for having all of that animation, that back bend, the eyes lighting up, the vibration, the awesome, incredible sound, and then how quick that jump scare really is, and you know, it's not a lie about how fast that thing goes. I would say that she is 100% worth it. Maybe she won't be to all of you guys, but I feel like $160, it's one of the slightly more affordable ones this year, because this year a lot of them tend to be $200 and over. So, I mean, even though she is a smaller one, so that kind of makes sense, there really is a lot going into her, so it's one of the more worth it smaller ones, if you know what I mean. So $160, I would say, is definitely a snag for this girl. And so if I had to rank her on a 1 to 10 scale, I would definitely give this one a 10. This is an absolutely incredible prop from Spirit. There really is not much bad that I can say about it, other than the setup being a little bit confusing and, you know, the back bending situation where you have to screw it in and tape up the thing. Other than that, it is just an absolutely amazing prop. It's just an absolutely awesome, terrifying prop that will go well in any sort of haunted display, and I think that she is going to be a big, big seller for this year. I'm so glad that Spirit released her, and that I could bring her on the channel for you guys, because I really, really love her. And so yeah, that is what I have to say about Bloodthirsty Betty. Let me know what you think of her down in the comment section below. Let me know if you like her, if you don't, what you would rank her on a 1 to 10 scale. And of course, if you want to buy Bloodthirsty Betty or anything else on Spirit Halloween's website, because that is the place to shop for Halloween stuff. I mean, come on now. There will be a link down in the description, and if you buy anything on that link, you'll be helping out me and the channel. And of course, there'll be an up-to-date 20% off coupon down there as well to help you make these prices a little bit less scary. Also, there will be a link to my Instagram if you guys want to follow me over there, and there will also be a link to the HGJ Halloween merch shop if you want to get any HGJ Halloween designs. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching today's review. I hope you guys are enjoying this new style of review video. Stay tuned, because there is a couple more things coming, and then Rusty is going to be coming to the channel very, very soon, so I can't wait to show you guys him. I've been doing Demonic Dahlia and Bloodthirsty Betty for quite some time now, but I hope you guys have enjoyed all those videos, because those are some of the best props of this year, so I thought I'd start it off with a bang. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.